Yeah, welcome back. How you guys doing? I'm sorry. How are you guys doing? Welcome back to Individual Perspective Podcast. I am your host, Daris D. McKinney. We are actually doing a part 4 to this crazy confrontation, but I want to be, like I told you, in order to have an individual perspective, you must have objective analysis of things. So that means you got to do a deep dive. You got to do the work. You get what I'm saying? You got to do the work to vet yourself, and even as I was listening to the episodes that I did previously before the first 3 and everything to this conversation, and I was analyzing it, and it made me go do a deeper dive and go get the timeline. Like for example, I just want to give you guys some context to what I mean by a deeper dive. You get what I'm saying? So technically, it goes like this. Okay, let me bring it onto the screen. Okay, it goes like this. Anton Daniels interview with Brian McKnight. That once that interview was done, it made during that interview he made Brian McKnight made references to Mark Lamont Hill, and Anton actually instigated that it actually add his commentary about him as an intellectual and all that stuff. And Lamont and what's his name? Mark Lamont Hill, he responded on the Joe Budden show, and never give up, or I got this from a YouTube channel called Masculine Lifestyle Guide. I don't know if that's the right channel that had this video, or they copied it onto their platform, but I know he has never give up. I guess that's his Twitter handle, NEVERR, gave up, never gave up, or something like that. Maybe that's his platform that actually made this video. So, but he's kind of just going to the Joe Budden's commentary and Mark Lamont Hill's commentary about the actual comment that was said inside the interview that Anton did with Brian McKnight. Then Anton actually does a response to what they said in the Joe Budden show, and what Mark Lamont Hill said, and he kind of goes off on them and stuff like that. And I think this was about a month ago when this stuff happened. Then Tommy interjects his point of view into the actual discussion, and he made this video where he kind of took Anton's response comments to them reacting to his interview with Brian McKnight, and he kind of just had some commentary on the value of Mark Lamont Hill's celebrity, or or his value as an intellectual. And he calls him out to say, hey, you don't want this smoke, you don't want to debate me and everything like that. And technically after that, him or a comment that he gave, I don't know, it was on this this commentary that he did on the Millionaire Money Show or whatever. I know that when Mark Lamont Hill heard about him saying that he would debate him and show him up intellectually, Mark Lamont Hill challenged him to say, hey, okay, let's do an interview. And then for some reason Anton is turning that down, telling him to talk to his people first. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna waste my time. You got bosses or some stuff like that. But whatever. Tommy Sotomayor, he actually butts in and he kind of gives his commentary about Anton talking about he would debate anybody, or he'll have a conversation with anybody, and Tommy Sotomayor said, "Hey, for 2 years I've been trying to have a conversation with you, but you kicked me out of your chat and all that other stuff." And that brings us to the show where Tommy did about Anton, and then Anton did a show to respond to Tommy's show and his commentary on him and Fatty and all that stuff like that, having a conversation about him. And then now that leads us to the final show that I'm gonna do with you guys, where after Anton respond to Tommy responding to Fatty in his show. This is Tommy Sotomayor's up to date. This will be what he did yesterday, to respond to Anton Daniels. Okay, so it's got context in it, and I just wanted you guys to know the order of it. You know what I mean? And I may go through a little bit of it to kind of give you guys a quicker timeline in it to get it up to the final conversation that Tommy is doing about the actual conversation. And I don't want to soak up too much time, because the other episodes that I have done for the last 2 days or 24 to 40 hours actually gives you all some of the things that they said leading up to this final Tommy Sotomayor, his response to Anton Daniel. Okay. But what I want to do is I want to kind of take a breather, just a moment, and give a commentary about us as individuals, and what does the internet, social media, social influencers, prominence, people of prominence in politics and economic people with economic position, how do they influence the culture in everybody's human existence? I think people, I don't care how they are, they think they are I think a lot of people think they're far from social media podcasters and the manosphere and the red pill and the men going their own way, or MGTOW, or women divesting from men and stuff like that. And I forgot the name of it, but it was an actual movement that was in South Korea, that all this stuff comes from that. All the female feminists, what they call the Me Too movement comes from. It was a movement in South Korea that actually every black woman, every hip hopper, every like bad mindset of women and how they conduct themselves in relationships, white, black, Asians, whatever, it all comes from that movement in South Korea. I can't remember it right now. I actually did an episode about it on my Rumble page. I don't know if it's on this one. Maybe I migrated over. It's a lot of stuff I'll be saying. I don't know if it will play well on YouTube, so I did it over in Rumble. But I actually do a full episode on this movement and how the Me Too movement got done. In a lot of this internet conversation and bantering and in opposition narrative is affecting rich white homes, black homes, Asian homes, Hispanic homes, Indian, Middle Eastern. It's affecting everybody. So you can't just say if maybe 2 million people know or interact with Anton Daniels as a subscriber, he has about another 60 million to hundreds of millions to possible billions of hits from different platforms interacting about what he's saying and what the interaction he's having with his subscribers and his viewers. So that's the same with Fresh and Fit and Dr. Karen Bryan or whatever her name is, and all the other different female shows and stuff like that, and Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and all the interaction of Taylor Swift and all that stuff, and all the psychological things that they do to perceive or give a presentation or a perspective of human existence and human function and what's right and what's wrong, the Me Too movement, all this stuff like this, it plays a factor into everyone's life, everyone's household. So you're not allowed to act like, okay, we don't talk about politics at the Thanksgiving table. Politics is our life. You have to bump heads or come to a final conclusion of who your parents are and how they think and what their political views are, and even your siblings and your friends and everything like that. Because we're doing two things. One is we love our family, we love our friends, we love the people that we have relationships with. So we build this inconsistent psychosis and illogical psychosis system within ourselves to not make a final decision on how the people around us think. And by doing this, this is how we live. Because you can't have a point of view of something to preserve relationships, and then you move totally different in your business and how you go at something and your goals and all other stuff. It starts to seep into how you function. If you're not making decisions in certain things that are constant everyday interactions, then that inconsistent decision making will start to leak into when you have to perform a duty, a task, a goal, accomplishment, a function to outcome. And look, the only reason why I'm communicating this is because I'm being open to say I know this is what's going on with, or what happened with me, and I know it's what's happening with everybody else. Is this is the problem? This is the conversation people won't have. How are the passiveness and the get along to get along is affecting us overall in outcomes that we're trying to have? And I'm telling you, it's making you inconsistent. It's making you unstable in judgment because you're trying to leave room to always allow to not be a complete asshole to your family and your friends and the people that's around you that have total polar opposite views than you have. But if you start to give sensibility or sense or validity to things that are not what you believe and what you function, you start to give a little leeway to it, and it might start affecting your business. It might affect how you stay focused on getting a client or executing on money and all that other stuff. So how do we interact and be absolute about who we are? Now, people like Anton Daniels and even Tommy Sotomayor and Fresh and Fit and all kind of other people, celebrities, even Tom Cruise to Leonardo DiCaprio, to Oprah Winfrey, to Jay-Z, to Tyler Perry, to President Barack Obama, to President Donald Trump, to news anchors, to a lot of the people you look up to. One of the things that they all have in common, the number one thing they all have in common, is you're a joke to them, and you are to be manipulated for their outcome. They do get themselves into a mindset where it's money or success or outcome on top of their brain, and whatever conversation that they have with you, they're not technically having the conversation with you. They're having it under the context of having that conversation with you and giving pleasantries to you, but in the top of their goal, what they're really looking at you and what they're really thinking about is, I need you to hit that like button. I need you to subscribe. I need you to pay for my Patreon. I need you to become a member. I need you to vote. I need you to buy the CD. I need you to go watch this movie. I need you to, that's the top of their mind. Even if they have to have pleasantry to you to say that if they have a total opposite political views than you, they'll give the premise that they have the same or similarities, or they understand your point of view in order to have you proactive to the end result. But for why it doesn't affect them to be around you and be around their fans and hear their fans kind of say something that they don't believe in, and that they kind of somewhat project themselves to manipulate you to do, is because they overall know, hey, I don't want to have an opposition to my fan at this moment. But once they hit that like, once they hit that subscriber, once they do that, and once they do something that makes it where I'm capitalizing or I'm gaining the value of it overall of what I even brought them to the table for, then we could kind of, I may say my views, or maybe I don't ever say my views. There's a lot of celebrities that they don't ever want to get into the political realm because that's not what they want people to support them or interact with them for. One of the people that I look up to and I respect is Al Pacino. You don't have Al Pacino coming out here telling you what his political views is. He loves all his fans. He loves all his viewers that live in the rural area, white, black, whatever. He has respect. He has gratitude for the life and the journey and the legacy that they help him create for himself, and he's not in there to disrespect them. Even if he may have a real liberal view, he's not out there touting that stuff. You know what I mean? And everybody that don't present themselves like Al Pacino, you need to look at them as, okay, how much of a fool am I that I'm giving you value, but you're not giving me back value? Because most of the time, viewers, they're giving value to celebrities, podcasters, social influencers, and high society, but they're not getting it back. They're giving, when you watch something, you're giving value. Only way you can get it back is if something that the person is saying it has a connection to you, and you have reference to what they're saying. But if they're kind of touting their greatness and what kind of luxuries or what kind of lifestyle that they have, then you can't really connect, because it's okay to talk about the lifestyle, talk about the value, but give me a baseline to how you got there. A baseline that's universal to all of us, that we should be functioning on a day-to-day basis to get to where you're going. And people won't give that baseline. They won't tell the actual viewers, you have to be an egomaniac. You have to be extremely selfish and self-centered to the value of you utilizing everybody around you to get the outcome you want, and then you actually give payback or give back to the people to get you to your finish line. Look, I'm just telling you, that's why everybody not a boss, everybody not a CEO, everybody not a designer, everybody not a creator, everybody not an architect, everybody not a builder, everybody not a doer. They kind of almost come in and assist. Most people are assistants in the world, in the making of this world, because the people that are doers, they use the people to around them and the people to assist in their vision. and where they want to go and what they want to get accomplished. And so you got two people in the world, doers and assists. People that are assistants, so it's people to assist the doers. That's the way it is. You get what I'm saying? And we don't want to have that conversation. And when we're watching podcasters and social influencers, it's okay to be an assist, do what you're doing in your life, and then be an assist to this person. But you do not want to wake up and you do not want to watch a podcast where they're turning their gun on you and they're judging the viewer, saying, "Oh, you watch me for a few hours, you're a loser." Well, hold on a second. That's your viewer. You get what I'm saying? They might be watching you while they putting an engine together, or listening to your show while they putting an engine together, or while they doing construction, or while they designing on an app or a website, or doing graphics, or they could be multitasking in what they feel their goals are and their passions are, and they're just watching you. But now you got the social influencers and the podcasters saying, "Hey, loser, you spending all your time listening to 4 hours of my content, 3 hours of my content. You such a loser. You such a weak person. Y'all dumb for doing it. Go do something on your own. Go do something. Make something out of yourself, and stop using the fucking the tablet or the your video." People are multitasking. They probably listen to your show, because that's what I do. I listen to all these people's show. I don't watch them all the time. I listen to their show as I'm multitasking, doing stuff. I design apps. I design websites. I do special effects. I do graphics. I do graphic design. I do cinematography, and all this. I've got more than 10,000 hours on it, and I'm very good at it. Extremely good at it. I'm a writer. I do all kind of stuff. So a person like, I'm just using myself as an example, but the guns, I say, in 2022 and 2023. Social influencer had so much money, and they had so much cash flow at that time that they turned the gun on their viewers and start actually analyzing the value of their viewers. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, man, dude, hey, the stronger you got, you were supposed to start taking on the government. You were supposed to start taking on the system. You were supposed to start taking on the economic system. You were supposed to start saying, hey, there's no acceptance to automotive, Ford, GM, or Chrysler having factories outside of United States of America. There's no acceptance that our computers, our manufacturing is outside of our country. It's not to be accepted that our marketing is outside the country. It's crazy that we are allowing China and Europe to purchase farms and land in America. And now we got land that's in America that's owned by foreign nations. Not like foreign citizens coming over here to purchase it, in which that's bad too. If you're not a citizen of America, you're not supposed to be owning no land. That's crazy. China owning buildings and farms and all kind of stuff. So whatever meat that they are making, cattle and all that stuff, they immediately send it back to them before we actually get that product. And we done it here. It's so crazy. We got a culture that people don't see the value in having two jobs that pay you $37 an hour. That's success. No matter if it's a job that pay you $37,000 an hour, the option in America and the new economics way of making money in America is, until we bring our manufacturing back, until we actually make sure that we have the demand of product and produce and everything here in America, until we get the numbers right and the actual commerce right and the barter trade right, we're gonna have to have two jobs, two of everything. So if we're working at Popeyes or we're working at McDonald's for $15 an hour, we got to do two of them to make $30 an hour a day. And obviously that's how a man needs to work, because men, it's easier for us to push ourselves, and we kind of working 16 hours, 15 to 16, let's say 13 to 16 hours a day in order to make sure that we're giving a great livelihood or balance or a decent, respectable wage to ourselves. You get what I'm saying? And the way we got to move. Yes, I always say you have to somewhat figure out how to make $37 to $75 an hour. If you do that, $37 to $75 an hour, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. If your household is making $37 to $75 an hour, and I'm saying you got to do that. You have to find a way to do it. There's nothing to stop you. You can pretty much get the house you want. You can pretty much take the trips you want, and some way you be able to budget it to have a really decent life. And I know the standards of delusional people, and most people are delusional these days, but the standards of everybody is that you need to be making $10,000 to $12,000 every month. That's not likely for the majority of the population. Like I said, I do not care about the anomaly. I care about the majority, and the majority need to find a way to make $37,000 to $75,000. I mean, $37 to $75 an hour. Okay, they need to bring home $300 to $600 per day. By doing that, you have economic power in America as an average citizen. So stop fighting, stop threatening, stop judging your partners, and come together and find a way to do that and execute on that. That's what I'm seeing. Okay. So in the understanding of that, it gives you back your strength and your power against this social influence world. That's why I did a few episodes a couple of days ago called Don't Be Influenced, the influence world, you versus them. Because I do think that judgment and an evaluation of the average person is so out of context, but it's normalized. The prescription is normalized, and the prescription is crappy. It has no logic to it. They like, if you listen to a social influencer, I'm talking about the majority of social influencers, 99% of them, their advice is there should never be a person over 40 years old. I'm sorry, 30 or 40 years old it should never be a person 30 to 40 years old that's a garbage man, that stocks shelves at a restaurant. I mean, at a grocery store, that works at a fast food restaurant, that does anything that's blue collar work that may not be high society type of blue collar stuff, like a barista. You get what I'm saying? Anybody that's doing any of the things that make this country function, if you're not under 30 years old doing those jobs, you are insignificant, unrespectable person. That's how social influence. They won't tell you that, but listen to their rhetoric. Listen to how they talk about things, how they talk about leveling up. And you hear that their prescription is that there should be never like people working on a 9 to 5 or working a day job, a job, and they find value in being productive in their own life under the circumstances that they have to live in. They say, if you're not at a status or at an age that we think you should be when you're living in America, then you're insignificant and you're a failure and you should not be respected. You should not have a family. You should not have a wife. You should not be respected. So now it's like, okay, through history of this country and our economic system and the barter and trade structure and the commerce structure and the economic structure of our country, we always had like 40-some, 50-some year old people doing garbage, being a garbage man. You know what I mean? 30-some-year-old people doing garbage man work, doing construction, doing plumbing, doing like stocking shelves and offloading trucks in the storage room and restaurants and been a burger flipper and a Coney Island worker and stuff like that. And now you're kind of saying that we all should have the mindset that this person's not supposed to be respected to be married or have a family or have a child and all this other stuff. And we're all in error with all of this is constantly happening. But it should have never been happening. This is people that felt in partnership. That's terrible. But this is what I say about the only reason why I'm mentioning this because you got to understand Tommy and Anton and Joe Budden and all these people are in such a high lifestyle. And I said this, I'm almost kind of redundantly saying this. They so much out of what they come from. Most of these people come from places where they've been where the people at. They lived where the people at. They grew up where the people at, and their background is where the people at. But they make it seem like in order for life to exist, there should never be anyone that's making under $100,000 a year, and that's not logical to what really will happen in life. You get what I'm saying? We have to be grateful for the Popeye's chicken. It's so crazy. And the reason why I say this, and I'm gonna go back into the episode, but I just want to give context. Sometimes I'm doing my podcast and it seems like I don't know how to articulate myself because I take pauses. I'm more reflecting on what I want to say, because one of the things that I hold dear to me is that I'm in full context of what I'm saying, that when I look at or listen to these episodes, or if someone listens to these episodes 10 to 20 years from now, it'll be valid, whatever I said. Whatever I actually put in there, I don't have to come back online and start pulling things because I was so wrong. So sometimes I pause a little bit or stumble in what I'm going to say because I want to say something real quick, but I'm retracting to kind of say that in a little bit more formulated way that could be substantial and have substance to it for decades to come. So forgive me if I do that, and if I articulate a word incorrectly, or my grammar is not as great as you probably will want it to be. I think it's good enough for me to do my podcast and give my point of view and reactions to certain things that's going on. But the reason why I say this is because I want to start by saying that we got to stand for something. And I feel that our economics world and the world that we live in is more important to have success, so you can give your family and your friends and your peers and your close proximity, people close to you, some kind of happiness and enjoyment out of life. And if you could somewhat be extremely productive, that you can help provide that happiness, and then you get happiness from seeing people be happy, because you can't take nothing with you when you die. So you want to kind of make some kind of success, and I think that's what's important right now. And I don't think we have a civilized world or a moral world or a world of integrity or a world of honor that we can make that the actual prominence or the value of our world, of how we function. It may not be in our best interest to be morally conscious. It may not be in our best interest to have integrity. It may not be in our best interest to be honorable. It may not be in our best interest to be fair. Now, for me, I'm coming to terms with this. It hit me up close and personal for the last 6 to 8 years that I have to say, wow, I would have done better business if I was a little bit more shrewd. Just to business, and what was fairly rightful for me to actually right for me to do, I should have did it. You know what I mean? And not looked at it as, wow, that's kind of shrewd, that's kind of cutthroat. You know what I mean? Because all the people that are bloviating and we're talking about and we're reacting to and we're watching their movies and we're going and how we function when we're watching a football game on Sunday and stuff. We giving value to people outside ourselves, outside our household, that we actually made richer and more successful because we tuned in, because we made what they were doing valuable. And I think we got to turn that around. We got to turn that around. We got to make sure the people get the value now. And how do you make sure the people get the value is under no circumstances should Americans lose value to any other country. We should never lose value. So our manufacturing, our commerce, our barter trade structure needs to be reestablished. I know this sounds political, but I'm telling you, we're losing. Even the movies, people are making movies in Europe. And they're making movies in Canada and making it look like New York. Making movies in Canada and making it look like Chicago. This is okay for y'all? This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And so much. So look, I know I'm going into the weeds on this, but overall, my goal is for you guys to understand the context. And freedom of speech is very important. And I think that's one of the points that I want to drive with analyzing Anton Daniels and Tommy Sotomayor. And I love freedom of speech. I love that we can pretty much communicate what we want. But like I said, we're on a platform that's not for freedom of speech. It is not a freedom of speech platform. And Anton Daniels, he give validity to this stuff because why? He's not going to let it mess up his money. He could say all the kind of crazy stuff. He could dog out people. He could use whatever profane language he want to use. He could do whatever he want to say to people on YouTube. And that's not against the actual speech regulation. But there are speech that are, it's not profane. It's just a judgment on culture and race and different stuff that you have the freedom. Freedom of speech is not for things we want to hear or we agree with. You cannot be a company that don't get regulated by the FCC and you regulate your actual members of like the FCC does like broadcasting, natural broadcasting, because Channel 7, Channel 4, Channel, where your local channels are to be regulated by the FCC because they're accessible to everyone's household. The reason why they don't regulate the cable channels and the cable networks like that is because it's people pay for that service. So whatever happens on there, it may not be favorable to the regulation of the FCC or profanity or nudity or whatever. It was a paid service, so it's up for whatever happens. They tried to make sure that it's kid friendly and family friendly, but if it doesn't, they don't have to worry about the actual effect of regulations because it's not a broadcast that is regulated under the government, because the government has a infrastructure connection to how national broadcasting get their signals out. So they're not paying for that. Majority, the country is, taxes is, the infrastructure is secured by the government for the national broadcast channels. So when you look at podcasters and all that stuff like that, they're like, YouTube is not regulated by the FCC to not disenfranchise people freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying? But they're actually giving government incentives and government and they don't get regulated at the government because they said they will not regulate people's freedom of speech, but they are. So they actually went against law that I forgot what the code is, but they actually going against the policies of the regulation of people's freedom of speech, because a lot of the government for the last 15 years been actually utilizing the internet to regulate and forcing a lot of social media providers to regulate us by FBI or presidential orders and Congress. Not even Congress. It's just these are more executive branch regulations, and that's illegal. But they won't actually fine or put them under a certain violation of the freedom of speech law. So now that we are not now that we're playing in that world, when you get Tommy Sotomayor's freedom of speech been infringed on, we don't fight for him. We don't fight for Andrew Tate, and this is a total violation of freedom of speech. We don't fight for that stuff. And I'm just saying, we need to pick a side. Are you for freedom of speech or are you not? And it's okay for us to be amused by people that are not for freedom of speech, or people that are for freedom of speech that they're so radical that they're you got to go find them in the weeds. But I want us to, we at least owe it to ourselves as individuals with our own thought process and our own loyalty to ourselves to say Anton Daniel's against freedom of speech. You get what I'm saying? Because he's for freedom of speech under the condition that it doesn't mess with his bag. Then whatever YouTube says goes, and he actually will actually do a day-to-day complimentary compliment to it. You know, and then a person like Tommy, he's all over the place. He's wild and he's aggressive, and what comes out his mouth, and a lot of other people too, that they get banned from platforms and stuff like that. And you know, you got to go find them and source them out. But that's the consequences of them being for freedom of speech and us not fighting for their freedom of speech, or us not setting a standard that we should not have anyone's speech regulated. So in that context, we're going to go back to all this, but I just wanted to, I'm so sorry that I sucked up 44 minutes of it and talking about that, but I think I just wanted to end this, because what I'm trying to do is I'm not trying to go to a fifth episode. I'm trying to end this by giving context to why even I wanted to do a deep dive on this, because I do feel like it's a good example of how freedom of speech and anti-freedom of speech under the economic system has actually destroyed individuality and our constitutional rights, and it's in our politics, it's in our rights, is in our economics, it's in everything. It's certain prices and taxes, and companies are inflating prices because we're in such a fight against each other that they saying, well, we can hike the price on this because they'll just say that Trump is inflating it, but really we don't have to. We're getting the same to transport, we're getting it from another country at the same amount and everything like this, and it's really not messing with the pricing of it. But we can say that because they'll believe it because of the opposition that they have with Donald Trump. What Donald Trump has showed in the last 10 to 12 years is that we hate our freedoms. We hate anyone that uses the example of freedom of speech. We hate anyone that actually uses the example of the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment. We really hate that about ourselves. We don't know it until we analyze the things and the political views that we have and the stuff like that, and you see it all over the place, that majority of American citizens, Republicans, Democrats, liberals, conservatives, they hate the First, Second, Fourth, and Fifth Amendment. And a lot of other constitutional rights, but those are the major ones on a day-to-day basis we step, stumble, spit on. Our favorite movie star, our favorite podcasters, our favorite celebrities, musicians, politicians, philosophical influencers, all that stuff. You can see them on a day-to-day basis disrespect the First, Second, Fourth, and Fifth Amendment. Okay, I know. That's a lot. I'm trying to be reasonable here with my rants. So, like I said, I want to play some things from the from all these videos, and we're gonna just scan straight through, okay? And because if you want to get context with some of this stuff, you can go look at the first 3 episodes, and you'll see it here. Okay, let's play this.
What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. As usual, I got a special guest, but let me introduce this person a little bit differently, because going forward, I made up in my mind, I only want to talk to people that I feel like I can get true value from. You know, people that could give me some insight, give you guys some insight based off of their history, their current situation, and where they see themselves in the future. And I want to introduce, I don't know if I should introduce you as the Brian McKnight that I know, or the Brian McKnight that you've changed the name into.
Well, the first and last name is still the same.
Okay.
My middle names have changed.
Okay.
So I'm still Brian McKnight. It's funny when people want, they say, how do you want to be introduced? You know, you're a singer, you're a songwriter, you're this and that. It's like, you know, I'm a recording artist. I'm mostly just a songwriter and a producer and a singer. But I'm just me. I'm just a regular dude, man. That's kind of who I've always been.
It's like,
okay, you guys, like I said, you guys can kind of go and watch this whole interview. I'm not gonna do the interview because it's not in the context of what's been discussed between Anton Daniels and Tommy Sotomayor. But what I want to do is I want to skip to where they actually start talking about Mark Lamont Hill, to give you context to that. It's right here. Okay. Here we go.
Being a nice person who's good at your job is nowhere near enough. You need to stand.
Message to Joe Budden's podcast, crickets, nothing.
mm-hmm.
But who's that Mark, the guy, the political guy?
We're going to rewind that. And this, I just want to bring what's the full context of the conversation that they had. And I want to be able to mark it, because you guys got all reference in the previous episodes, like I said, but I'm going to kind of go to this. I'm having a little buffering issue here, but let's go into it. What's up with my speed? Let me refresh it. I need to do that. Okay. I don't know what's wrong with this. Not. Oh, did I freeze up my computer? Let me look at my speed. Looks good. I don't think there's a problem with it, but obviously that's some buffering issue with this web page or something like that. Let me see if I can get this. See, lets me do it. So let's see if I can go to it again. Let me exit out on that. Do it again. Yeah, I'm having a internet issue. So that's a buffering issue. Sorry about that, guys. Wow. I hope I don't have to. I hope I ain't messing up my my stream. Been nagging for the last 51 minutes. I don't want to eat up any time on this stuff though. I do want to kind of be able to get to this episode. Oh, come on. Well, let's go to this real quick. Like I said,
our good brother Brian McKnight went on Anton Daniels' podcast and shared some things. I have a clip here. He shared that he reached out to the Joe Budden podcast so he can attempt to be a guest.
Who caught that message?
I want to let Mr. McKnight know I have never received that message. You must have sent that to like the pod page, or something.
With AI,
you can create any character you want in seconds.
Very dope.
This used to require huge Hollywood.
Because if you would have sent that to me, we would have handled that in a heartbeat. You know, I got you singing at my wedding. Maybe you don't know.
Not no more. Not no more.
Why not no more?
Wait till we done.
Oh
shit.
Oh, come on.
Burn that bridge.
Anyway, I have this.
Better get it back up.
I have this clip here. Like to hear it go.
Because here's the thing. Why can't we sit and talk about it?
Yeah, I agree.
I send a message to Joe Budden's podcast. Crickets. Nothing. But who's that Mark, the guy, the political guy?
Mark Lamont Hill.
Let me tell you something.
What's the guy's name again?
I'd destroy that dude. I would destroy him. Not physically, but
I understand what you're saying.
Because you don't even know me. But you call me an asshole?
Yeah.
Well,
the worst state to live in right now is Michigan, and nobody's talking about it.
sorry about the commercials.
I look at Mark Lamont Hill.
That's YouTube.
There's a segment of people that are what I like to call, they like to champion themselves as intellectuals, right? And that they truly believe that they're smarter than everybody else.
And
I don't really believe that because I never see the results.
God. Right.
It never translates. Right? So.
Okay, we don't have to watch all of that, but obviously the reason why I wanted to play the actual anti-interview from him is to hear them kind of get into that conversation without all the stupid sound effects and everything like that, and Joe Budden kind of instigating it in everything and like that. But I think that clip kind of plays it in context and everything like that. So I'm gonna go to the next video, and that will be Anton responding to them, responding to his interview with Brian McKnight.
Fresh out the break.
Y'all ready to get into it? So Joe Budden, Joe Beasy, they had a pod, and I checked it out over the weekend. I paid for the Patreon so that I could see it early and that I could understand the full context. Because I was talking to Brian as usual, because I'm always talking to Brian. I was talking to Brian, and Brian has sent me a treasure trove, right? So I'm gonna play a little bit of the audio. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear this audio.
Fresh out the break. Fresh out the break. Had some smoke.
Uh-oh.
We had a little bit of smoke.
Uh-oh.
Can y'all hear that? I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
make sure that the audio is clear and that y'all can hear that.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Okay, cool. Let's play it. I'm gonna play the audio. You can't play the video. You know, the Joe Budden podcast don't want you to play the video, so I'm gonna play the audio.
Somebody was looking for our good educated brother, and he said he gonna find him too.
Yeah.
Hey, if you missed it,
Was
Brian
this kid singing
McKnight.
this to him?
Yo.
Do I ever cross your
All right, you still at it.
All right.
You
still
don't start
at it.
those shit
He
down.
said he looking for you.
He's the worst DB out.
Our good brother Brian McKnight went on Anton Daniels' podcast and shared some things. I have a clip here. He shared that he reached out to the Joe Budden podcast so he can attempt to be a guest.
Who caught that message?
I want to let Mr. McKnight know I have never received that message. You must have sent that to like the pod page.
So, all right. So let's stop there. All right. So I got a treasure trove, a huge treasure trove of information and stuff and things. Brian is not sure if this is the right page, whatever. I don't know what the pod page is. I don't know what the pod page is. What is the pod page? So does Joe Budden have?
And I'd like to thank everybody that's kind of joining in, and I just think I just got another subscriber. Thank you. I want you guys to kind of join in, and I'm gonna level this podcast up, and I'm gonna grow, and I'm gonna fight, and I'm gonna fight. That's why I told you, we're gonna actually be consistent every single day, and we're gonna be knocking them out and everything like that. Sometimes I will have podcasts on schedules. Sometimes I'll come straight in, and we'll just kind of go at it. But thank you. Like, subscribe, please follow, and please go to Rumble and look at some of the work that we've done, and that'll give you a little bit more history too. You can look at individual perspective on this channel, and I got a lot of stuff on this channel also. But you're gonna get a lot of additional stuff on individual perspective on Rumble also. Just to give context, you could go to Spotify and actually Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud and Spotify if you want to kind of hear some of my legacy work, because I've been doing this stuff for a long time, for a while, and I'm just coming back real hardcore in it. But for the last, I'll say, since 2015, you're gonna see a good body of work. But I'll be putting a lot of stuff up, and I'll be putting a lot of our old stuff up too, just because I think it's historically valuable even to this day. So thank you for subscribing, thank you for following and like, and let's get back to it.
This is what Brian has sent. Is this Joe Budden's pod page? Is this the page that they don't pay attention to? Brian sent this message to Joe, and it says, Joe, I really respect you and what you've built here. I just wonder, though, as brothers, why would you talk about me and speculate about my life when you can just reach out and have me on so we could debate? Now, remember, this was October 28th at 6:19 a.m. Could debate what is actually going on, and then have a debate about what many men out here deal with every day, a dialogue that might actually help. Brian, respectfully, even though they've had all of this negativity, all of this stuff to say, right? Because they had all of this negativity and all of this stuff to say, Brian respectfully reached out to their pod. And again, this is why it's important for y'all to have an ally. And an ally in objective truth. Not your truth, not his truth, not their truth. All I'm going to do is just put out the information. And again, I got a treasure trove of information. I got so much different stuff, so many different things. And see, because the media, and when I say the media, I'm not talking about CNN, I'm not talking about Fox News, I'm not talking about BET, MSNBC, none of that stuff. When I look at the media now, I look at
I do
subscriber supremacy, right? Now, I don't feel the need to address this on the Anton.
I look at all those platforms he said, plus them, the podcasters, and all of them: Joe Budden, Anton Daniels, Tommy Sotomayor, PBD, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens. I look at all of them. They are the media. You know what I mean? And don't even get me started. I'm sorry. Let me go back.
Channel. We're gonna pull out the little channel, and I'm gonna tell you why we pulled out the little channel with only 400 and some thousand subscribers. I'm not gonna go to the 1 million+ channel. We're gonna get into that later. All right. But this is why it's important for people to have an objective ally. And an objective ally is a person that do not care about what the audience thinks. And you know how y'all know that I'm objective? I'm gonna tell y'all how y'all know that I'm objective. The way that y'all know that I'm objective is because I go back and forth with you guys. I fight with y'all in the chat. And what do I say? Don't censor nobody just because they got a difference of opinion, just because they may come at me. We don't block people just because. We fight here. We fight in real life because that's what people do. They argue their point. They argue their differences. I don't.
And that's why I won't give up on people like Anton Daniels. I'm insignificant to it, but I don't want you guys to give up to Anton Daniels. If you go listen to the previous episode, I said this in the previous episode. What I'm fighting for is for Anton Daniels to have a platform that he has different content how can I say, content creators that daily for 5 to 6 days a week create 15 to 16 hours of content a day. If he can do that, that will kind of fall in the entertainment content to news content to commentary and all that stuff, and even all these reaction videos, even the panels and all that stuff. If it could consume about 15 to 16 hours a day, new content daily for 5 to 6 days a week, he will be powerful enough to take people away and viewers away from the cable broadcasters and all that crappy stuff, because they lost respect. Like I say, there's a lot of the news organizations that I watch even to this day, but I don't heartily support them because how they were so subjective and criminally and manipulating to how they carried out a lot of the stuff. Even like, just for example, the Ukraine and Russia, we have nothing in America that not one of our journalists, not one, like, they do not call Russia and have Russia on the line to give their point of view on stuff. All we have is Ukraine and Europe and America's point of view on it. We do not have the Russian point of view on it. And for none of our newspapers, none of our magazines, none of our news outlets, none of our podcasters, I'm talking about YouTubers, none of them actually give you a at least once a month point of view and a factual communication from the Russian side. None of them. They all crappy. They all illegitimate. Anton falls into this too. He's biased on his thing because he don't want to mess up the bag and he don't want that kind of pressure on himself. And I totally understand that. But I'm just saying, I got to go to Anton because he's the closest to us that I can see. not Patrick Bet-David. He kills not even Candace Owens. And she's pretty raw. But for her, she's on some crazy crusade right now that she doesn't keep a general thing on what's going on. The closest I've seen too would be Tucker Carlson, but Tucker Carlson is he got a lot of wounds. He has a lot of things that he found out that he was actually wrong on, and now he's got to rehabilitate himself and rehabilitate his credibility, because he lost a lot of credibility in the bigger picture. But a person like Anton Daniels, I'm fighting for him. I think he's one of the people. He got a cool culture edge to him and swagger to him that I think is very much in a mainstream in a rebel type of persona, that he's good for the new media. And that's why I say I would like for him to have 15 to 16 hours of new content daily, 5 to 6 days a week. And I think how he runs his platform, where he's not getting demonetized, he's not getting flagged, and all the other stuff, it will allow for Kellogg cereal and Dove soap and all the Coca-Cola and all the platform, like the media, to gear towards his content. Yeah, he has some very raw communication. They say the F word and they say N word and all that stuff on his platforms, on his talk shows, on the Millionaire Morning Show and like that and stuff. But if you actually able to have that much eyeballs and that much content driving on your platform, then the advertisers got to come. They're not gonna stay away from that kind of attention and that kind of aggressiveness on the platform. Somebody making 15 to 16 hours a day of content. They got 5 to 8 different content creators really hitting it daily. You get what I'm saying? And they're gonna come to him. It's gonna be out of his control how much money, how much success the platform will make. So don't take me criticizing him and him being objective or being an actual objective person. I think he's more like accurate to what he's saying right now to being an objective analysis person, to kind of show some receipts and stuff like that. But this is all skewed to his narrative also. So there's a bigger picture in the situation. But let's keep going.
I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, try to censor people. I don't believe in censorship. Let me say that again for the people in the back. I don't believe in censorship, and I don't pander. So, and
he technically does believe in censorship. And it's under the condition that it doesn't mess up his bag. You get what I'm saying? He's not for like like true freedom of speech. He is for censorship. We're an example with him and his conflict with what's his name? Tommy Sotomayor, this whole thing of it. So that's not totally true.
So when Brian told me, because I wanted to know, and see, I didn't feel the need to have to show this on a interview. He said what he said. When Brian told me, he said, man, I reached out to them and they act like they didn't want to get the other side of the story. I know that they was pandering to women. I know that they pandering to their audience, which that's what you got to do when you're trying to get to the bag. And so that's fair, right? So when you hear them say stuff like this, well, I'm just going to give you the insight on why you should look at it a little bit differently when y'all hearing them talk, okay? Let me continue.
And like, look, the reason why I be on my mic like this, because I do love when I have my AirPods on and I hear the bass and all that stuff like that. You know, I really enjoy the true cardioid and the actual function of the mic and what it does to the voice. Yes, how Anton them do it, they very much away from it. and they're kind of talking and they're doing their thing, and it sounds good. It's very good. There's nothing wrong with that. And you can actually do a podcast like this and sound real good, and your meters pretty much giving you the feed that you need and everything like that. You got good vocals into it and everything, but you lose character. I'm a filmmaker. You gotta understand. I'm kind of going for certain things, kind of looking for the character. But that's a hard thing, and I'm even in my movies, I'm starting to kind of fight for that, even in the audio capturing, even more than I used to, or in previous work too. But as a podcaster, it's something I was always fighting for. So you always seeing me kind of go through the process of audio mixing and kind of like trying to find the right mic, right mix and settings and stuff for my mics and everything like that. So that's what you're hearing from him. For him, he likes the not the fullness of his voice, but he likes that it's got his character there, but it doesn't have like the detail, like because he would have to be on the mic like this, or he would have to have something that can be that great away from, because that mic is pretty much off to the side from him. It's off to the side. You get what I'm saying? And in order to really get the character of the broadcast, radio, disc jockey type of communication, you got to be up on it. You got to be happy, or you have to have a microphone that you can be this close to it and you talk. This is really quality stuff, so you got to have a really good microphone that you can be this close up, and it doesn't modulate your tones, modulate your and helps with the P's and the S's, and it doesn't sound really terrible. You get what I'm saying? I'm sorry, let me go back.
Continue to play some more.
So he can attempt to be a guest.
Who caught that message?
I want to let Mr. McKnight know I have never received that message. You must have sent that to like the pod page, or something. Because if you would have sent that to me, we would have handled that in a heartbeat. I got you singing at my wedding. Maybe you don't know.
Not more.
Now, like I said, Brian McKnight, I said this in the previous episode. You got to watch all 4 episodes of this little 8. Anton Daniels and Tommy Sotomayor, Unavoidability meets Unavoidability series. That's what I'm calling it. You gotta listen to it. But I said that, like, even that, like, Brian McKnight is kind of getting booked at Joe Budden's wedding, and I'm pretty sure he knows that, but like maybe I don't know, maybe he didn't know it yet. You know what I mean? That he was booked for that wedding. Because he's so busy, and Brian McKnight, he sounds like Brian McKnight, and who's not going to pay for that? Every bar, every restaurant, every vineyard that can, like, that hears his voice, and they don't really care about his personal life situation. He's not losing a lot of audience for that. So, New Year's Eve events, you'll book Brian McKnight, you know what I mean? So weddings, you'll book Brian McKnight if you can afford it. And if you guys want to know what the price range for booking some of the hottest stars in the country, in the world, pretty much, make sure that you range yourself from $250,000 to technically $100,000 to about $1 million. You could have anyone, and they will play a full set. Okay, if you got that range, right? Yes, there's some celebrities that are may not up, and you probably can get them for $10, $20, $30, $50,000. But some of the hottest, like, awesome bands and musicians and all that stuff, if you could range yourself from $250,000 to $1 million, you could get them to do a full concert in your living room with 5 people. For real. Okay? I know I'm getting sidetracked.
Why not?
That's usually a tactic, right? When people want to get off of the responsibility of being a reasonable source or a credible person that has conversations about issues that go on in the culture, they'll start to joke. Yeah, man, I had you singing at my wedding. They do the joke thing, right? Ha ha ha, jokey joke. Cool. You know what I'm saying? So, they go in and they do all of the jokey joke. I didn't really know, whatever, so on and so forth. what's the point of having the page if you don't check it and find out what the hell is going on, right? So the thing about Brian, though, and I kick it with him, and it's so funny because I kick it with a lot of people that realize how I handled the Brian McKnight interview, and it's a lot of celebrities that's been reaching out to me like, "What up?"
Yeah, it's beautiful. He did a great job. That's why I've
seen plenty of power banks over my 15.
How he did that interview visually and media wise, he actually has the standard of the industry. So if you got the standard of the industry, then let's multiply that to 8 relentless content creators and make that 15 to 16 hours of content, and let's get this going. So we got to migrate from the cable networks. We got to migrate from hacky, illegitimate platforms, and yes, I understand we got to somewhat pass the regulation and demonetize checklists and stuff, and that we got on a day-to-day basis kind of dodge that stuff like that to be able to talk about different stuff like Israel and Ukraine and all that stuff like that. But at the same time, yeah, of course, you got producers that can manage that. Trust me, I haven't been doing this for this long for nothing. I always say you could drop me off a plane into China, Japan, anywhere that needs really good, high quality media platforms built from the ground up, and I could kind of tell you, if you got the cash flow, we could do it. You know what I mean? So when I look at this stuff, I kind of know how to bring like $2 billion broadcast network functionality and operations to a let's say a couple million to 10 to 20 million platform. You know what I mean? I know how to do it. I know that sounds crazy, but yes, I do know how to do it. But you got to be able to have that cash flow ready to spend. You don't have to spend it all, but it's got to be ready there to back us up in what we're doing. Okay? I know. I'm getting sidetracked.
I'm ready to tell my story. So y'all, and this is why I'm having this conversation on a smaller platform, because I don't, I can get personal. I could just talk my talk. I could talk shit on here. So y'all can look forward to the truth coming out from a lot of people that have been disrespected, lied on, told that I'm gonna be the truth teller, and I don't want nobody trying to follow in my footsteps. Keep doing what y'all doing. Keep doing your little gossips. And I'm gonna just have real conversations with people that really want the truth to get out. All right, that really want the truth. So we gonna get there. We gonna get there. All right. Anyways, but I was talking to Brian, and he was like, "What do you think about this? This is hilarious to me." And I said, "What do we care?" And so we laughed about it, and we continued the conversation. So we had maybe a 4 second dialogue about it, and we moved on. Brian don't give a fuck no more. You know why? Because Brian already told his side of the story now. It's out there. It's out there collectively in less than 3 days. In less than 3 days between the main interview, the clips, and then all of the stuff that's happening on social media, he's already gotten millions of views. And regardless of whether people agree or disagree, he got his shit off. He got it off his chest. He told what it is, and he letting it rock. He said what he had to say. He don't care no more. Brian was already good, and now he chilling. But let's continue on.
Wait till we done.
Oh
shit.
Oh, God.
Burn that bridge.
Anyway, I have this.
Better get it back up.
I have this clip here. Like to hear it. Here it go.
Because here's the thing. Why can't we sit and talk about it?
Yeah, I agree.
I sent a message to Joe Budden's podcast.
You don't need a second job. You just need to know.
My goodness.
Crickets. Nothing. Mm-hmm. But who's that Mark, the guy, the political
Mark
guy?
Lamont Hill.
Let me tell you something.
What's the guy's name again?
I'd destroy that dude. I would destroy him. Not physically, but
I understand what you're saying.
because You don't even know me, but you call me an asshole?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I look at Mark Lamont Hill.
Get him in.
Come on. What's going on here? You know, they're trying to tax me. They're saying, Daris, you've been doing this too long. It's an hour and 21 minutes. I can't, like, we're going to do a fifth episode on this? Come on, yeah, because I probably have to shut down to figure out why this is messing with my, my caches. You know? Let me see.
There's a segment of people that are what I like to call, they like to champion themselves as intellectuals, right? And that they truly believe that they're smarter than everybody else.
Tell them.
But I don't really believe that because I never see the results.
Right.
It never translates. Right? So
I see people handing him his ass.
It's easy.
Whoa. Let me rewind that. Let me rewind that.
Guy in the room, but it doesn't
Hold up. You heard what Brian said.
It never translates, right? So
I see people handing him his ass all the time.
Yeah, it's easy to. I mean, it's easy to say that I'm the smartest guy in the room, but it doesn't necessarily translate into results, right? So I decided that I would do stuff on my own.
We don't need to rest.
Nah.
We don't need to rest.
We kind of got it.
I went and watched the whole episode to make sure it wasn't anymore. It was
So
just
did I.
this.
I know you did. I know you did too.
You
It's
know
part
I
of the
did.
job. Yo, where does it translate? How do you measure?
Whoa.
That?
And they were talking about two different things. That's the funny part. They were just
like, how do you measure that? Mark could be resonating with a whole bunch of different people and improving people's lives every single day. You can't measure that.
Ish. Fight your fights.
Shout out to Joe. Joe had it right. Ish, fight your own fights. I'm gonna come back to Ish in a minute. I'll get there in a minute. I'm gonna fast forward because Mark having whatever he had to say about Brian McKnight, that's irrelevant in this conversation. So we're gonna come back to that in a minute.
I've said some shit, but
he's saying that I think I'm smarter than everybody.
Oh, this is the other part that I wanted to get to. All right.
You don't got no spoke for the interview?
Antoine Donaldson, Antoine Jameson, whatever his name is. No, I don't know him.
Anton.
He's saying that I think I'm smarter than everybody. I'm smarter than him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I don't think I'm smarter than everybody. I'm smarter than him. But I literally don't know. I don't have a beef. I don't know who he is. I don't even know his name.
What? That's crazy. But what's his name? Who is he? What is his name? That's crazy, bro. It's insane.
There we go.
On October
gotta focus, man.
15th,
Gotta focus.
2024. First of all, who is Jess Mabley? Who is Jess?
I don't know if he's gonna kind of go back to that, but I'll pause it and I'll read it. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. You know? See, look at that. Real quick.
15th, 2024.
We'll catch it. There we go. Okay. I guess somebody's texting Anton to say, Mark would like to invite you to join him for an interview on his YouTube program, Night School, on Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Any chance you are available? And I guess he didn't respond to that. So in the morning, they said, "Good morning, Mr. Daniels. My name is Jess Mubley. Interesting. I'm a producer for Mark Lamont Hill. Mark would like to invite you to join him for an interview on his YouTube program, Night School." I guess it's the same message and stuff. On Friday, I guess they did one in the morning, one at night and one in the morning at 9 p.m. Any chance you are available? And he said, "I can't have huge obligation Friday night. I'm sorry I won't be available to make it, but I appreciate the offer. Okay, thank you for letting me know, I guess, whatever that is." Okay, let's see what's going on here, because we got that's interesting.
First of all, who is Jess Mabley? Who is Jess Mabley? Does anybody know?
It's his assistant. It says that. Or Booker, whoever is the staff, got to be part of the main booking staff, producers and all that stuff. Gotta be.
Who Jess Mabley is? Anyways, I'm gonna let y'all read it. Good morning. They sent it twice.
Yeah, see?
Because I didn't respond to it the first time, so they sent it twice. I'm not gonna show you the number. That's not necessary. Good morning, Mr. Daniels. My name is Jess. I'm a producer for Mark Lamont Hill. Mark would like to invite you to join him for an interview on his YouTube program, Night School. Now remember, this was October 15th, 2024. I'm hotter than fish grease. I'm on every fucking platform. I'm doing 100 million views on YouTube alone every 28 days. And Mark Lamont and his team reaches out to me. I didn't respond the first time. They doubled down. All right. Listen, this is a conversation that I want to have with y'all. We're not even going to talk about the intellect part. I'll get to that shortly also. But these niggas is capping, bro. All of these niggas is fake. All of them are fake. I don't know who he is. Who is he? I'm confused. What are you confused about, nigga? I never reached out to you.
Yeah, see, this is something that I want to kind of look, and objective analysis. That's what we're doing here tonight, okay? That's what we're doing. How like verbose and like open and communicative and the N-word and profanity and stuff that Anton is kind of doing here, in which I love it. I'm a big fan. That's why I watch him. That's why I enjoy it. I love that gravitas. You get what I'm saying? So for me, I'm a big fan of that stuff. But how do you think that is anything that Tommy Sotomayor will communicate on a day-to-day basis that will be like worse than what you're doing? You're doing some this is like when he does the Millionaire Morning Show, it's 10 in the morning, it's 11 in the morning, it's 12 in the afternoon or something like that. This is pretty aggressive. You get what I'm saying? So like if they are not platforming Tommy Sotomayor, isn't that interesting to you? Isn't it interesting to you? And that's I know. I guess it's not interesting because it's go against his bag and it ain't got nothing to do with him. And like I said, look, I understand that. I think that's everybody should probably put that mindset of it's all about your life. It's all about what's happening to you, and get yourself to a place of kingdom. And then maybe you could kind of reach out when you get to the top. You get what I'm saying? So I totally understand that. And like I said, my goal is 15 to 16 hours a day, maybe 8 content creators hitting it every day, 5 to 6 days a week. That's what I'm trying to do, or trying to advocate on my platform or Anton, whoever gets to there first.
You reached out to me.
Hey, look, I got the media stuff, so I can do it, but I just got to have the financial backing, okay?
I never reached out to them, which is cool. You should reach out to me. When I jump on somebody's platform, or when I do an interview, or when I do something, that shit hit. It go viral. Never mind. Let me read it to you guys. There's no need. You see what it is. Good morning. They doubled down. I'm a producer for Mark Lamont Hill. Mark would like to invite you to join him for an interview on his YouTube program. How they got my number, I have no clue. I have no clue because I don't just give out my phone number. This wasn't an email. This was a text message. This wasn't an email. This is a text message, okay? Would like to join you. So they got my number from somewhere. So that means they had to go and find that shit. That means they had to go and look it up, right? They had to go and contact somebody. They had to go make some moves to find out how we can get in touch with Anton Daniels, okay?
Yep, absolutely.
He would like you to interview on his YouTube program, Night School, on Friday night at 9 p.m. Any chance that you are available? And they sent it again. I said, I can't. And remember, I was talking to y'all about it. I said, should I even entertain this nonsense or not? And y'all said, nah, don't waste your time, Anton. I'll let the chat decide.
Yeah, but I would think I remember this, and I remember that actually Anton put out that he can pretty much I think he called it, like he said he would destroy, or he said, nah, he didn't say destroy. He said I will he will kind of like pretty much out debate these intellectuals and stuff like that. So he kind of put it out there that he's kind of, you know,
I'll let the chat decide.
All these intellectuals with these big verbose conversations that he would take them on, you know what I mean, and show them that they're not really an intellectual. So he said, well, hey, come and talk to me, or like come and let's do an interview, or let's do a conversate together, and I will trash you and stuff like that, or whatever, however he said it. So I guess Mark Lamont Hill actually wanted to take him up on that, because I do remember him calling Mark Lamont Hill out. But now it comes to this, okay?
Y'all decide. Y'all said, nah, it doesn't even waste. There's no point in it. It doesn't add any value to what you got going on.
It doesn't matter if it adds value right now. Most of the time, we're doing stuff on these podcasts like this is not really adding major value to what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get my supporters. I'm trying to get subscribers. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Please try to share this a little bit. I know I'm a little not as fluid in this or like bells and whistles as Anton Daniels or some of the other big platforms, but we're gonna level up. Don't worry about that. But I need your support. I need your engagement. So please like and subscribe. But at the same time, even if it doesn't, it's historical value. We have to battle this highfalutin systematic educational industry that's really was shown that it had no value since the pandemic. So I think we have to have examples, and YouTube is a time capsule. That's why it's going to be so powerful. And in 20, 30 years from now, YouTube is only going to gain value because of so much content, so much things that people are going to be trying to review of the time we lived in. So I'll get back.
And so forth. I said, cool, no problem. So I responded, so I said, I can't. I have huge obligations. Friday night, I'm sorry, I won't be able to make it, but I appreciate the offer. I was a gentleman. They say, okay, thank you for letting me know. Perhaps next week would work. Or another time this week. Then they sent another text message. Or another time this week. Would just love to get a little time with you on the books. Please let me know if there's any time that may work for you. And I never even responded after that, bro. I never even responded after that. That's the facts. I never responded. And you can see the actual dates. So it's so funny to me. It's so hilarious to me how people will sit there and tell you that they don't know.
So is this from? This says this is a month ago. November 24th, 2025. Is this episode from, or he posted this on November 24th, 2025? You get what I'm saying? November 24th, 2025. That message was from October 15th, 2024. So it's about a year ago. You get what I'm saying? So fast forward to now, I guess, but the good part about it is was before he started talking about that crazy stuff on Joe Budden, because he actually did know who Anton was, because you tried to book him last year. So the context is the same. Okay. I had to try to figure that out.
But this is the people that y'all call smart. This is the people that y'all call intellectual. Honestly, listen, I'm not saying anything that's not true. I haven't even said anything incendiary. I haven't said anything crazy. I haven't said any of that. These people are liars, bro. They are liars. They are genuinely liars. That's why I don't fuck with these people in the industry, bro. Because if he'd have said, yo, I'm smarter than him or whatever, because see, how would you know if you're smarter than me if you've never heard of me before? How would you know that you're smarter than me if you've never heard of me before?
And he contacted him last year, so he do know him.
I'm just curious. So you've been reaching out and your people been reaching out. And they've been hitting me, and they've been hitting me, and they've been hitting me, and they've been hitting me. And they've been trying to holler at me and trying to get at me and trying to get, and it's cool. Like I said, I'm not tripping. I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense. Why wouldn't you want to hit me? I'm doing on the Anton Daniels channel alone, on a low month, 70, 60, 70, 75, 80 million views a month. That ain't including no other platform. Why wouldn't you want to holler at me? I would want to holler at me too. That makes sense to me. Makes perfect sense. Anton, you're not really doing 70 million views in a month. I'm not doing what? What do you mean I'm not doing 70? Why wouldn't I be doing 70? I'm sorry, 75 in the last 28 days. That's a fact. You're right. I'm not. 2.7 million watch hours.
Showing the receipts.
Bro, why is these niggas acting like they not the B-side? Honestly, I've been, as much as y'all may think that I'm not humble, I'm really, really humble. Honest to God, bro. Who do these niggas think they talking to? I'm gonna be honest with you. I would be doing you a favor to have a conversation with you. I would be doing you and that's what. Remember when I told y'all in the beginning of this conversation that I'm gonna use a smaller platform with 400,000 subscribers on it to have this conversation? I would be doing you a favor to have a conversation with you. Everywhere I go, the building is fucking filled. Every venue that I step into, they call me Mr. Daniels. And that's not to take anything away from you. I love the fact that you work for, or that you work for Al Jazeera. I love the fact that you were a contributor on CNN and Fox News. I like the fact that you're educated and that you went and got a degree from these major universities. I love the fact that Joe Budden decided to pick you to be a part of the crew of his platform. I love that for you. I love the fact that you've taught at major universities as a professor and made sure that you got your pay, because I'm not a person that hate on people that got a regular job. I love that. I love that you're trying to figure out how to get your money together so that you can pay off your mortgage or whatever the fuck y'all was talking about on that one episode. I'm with it. I'm with it, but I put people in houses. I find talent and I pay people. Everybody that's around me, they all make 6 figures or more. Like we not the same at the end of the day. And when I say it don't translate, I make millionaires in real life. I have people that have changed the entire trajectory of their families in real life. So remember that, just remember that. Like, bro, if your people fuck with you so hard, then how come you ain't got no motion on your own? That's all I'm saying. I could teach you something. Let me coach you, nigga. Because, you know, I kind of look at him as autistic. The nigga blink a lot when he talk.
Yeah.
Honestly, and this is the honest to God truth, I'm not dissing. I'm not dissing.
Yeah, you definitely
dissing. You know
dissing.
how these super pseudo-intellectual people, they have quirks about them and they do stuff. They got tics and stuff like that. I thought that the nigga was autistic at first. But see, the problem with niggas that be autistic, and there's nothing wrong with somebody on a spectrum. Because see, y'all look at these niggas as savants. Y'all look at them as super intellectual. These niggas fear you. They fear me. I'm the boogeyman. I'm the boogeyman. You know what make me the boogeyman? Because I don't need no sponsors. I don't need nobody to tell me what to do. I own 100% of everything and I don't have no strings on me. So I say what the fuck I want to say when I want to say it. I was rich before this shit. I was rich before this. I was up M's before this, before all of this. Y'all know my record. Y'all seen my receipts. You seen my 1040s. You see what's in my bank account. You see what's in my brokerage account. That's not even a question. I'm not controlled, bro. And do your thing. I mean, honestly, seriously. And we can have a conversation and all of that stuff maybe one day, but you got to ask your boss if you can talk to me first, bro. I don't know if that's in your contract. Seriously, like, talk to Joe, my nigga. Talk to Joe before you talk. Talk to Al Jazeera. Make sure that you don't say anything incendiary because you know what happened on CNN. When you start talking too much about Israel,
soon we'll be telling the whole stadium how Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance to save people hundreds.
I need to make sure you check with your people before you come and talk to me, man. Because see, I don't have no strings on me. You got to talk to them. That's how you lost your last situation.
Can my
now
dad
we can get
go
into the
from
whole intellectual
to
conversation. And I think that I think you're gonna get embarrassed in that. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Honestly, I think that would be a bad look for you. And I'm advising you before you talk to your managers. And the reason that I think that that's gonna be a bad look for you is because I don't have nothing to lose. I'm a lifetime C student. Everybody know I'm a lifetime C student. I'm community college. You finished your doctorate. All of these niggas like Mark Lamont Hill sound smart to niggas that got student loans. Honest to God, these niggas is smart to niggas that got African-American studies degrees. These niggas is smart to people that's broke. They're smart to people that's broke. They not smart to us. Because see, we only measure a person based off of the results. We don't measure you based off of your credentials of whether or not you graduated from school or if you went to an HBCU. We don't give a fuck about that. We trying to figure out how to put some money in our people's pocket, how to ensure that people can change their families. We're trying to get people in the trades. We trying to make sure that people, and listen, I acknowledge the fact that you started programs earlier in your career to help people read. I think that that's all.
So we only got a few more minutes on this and stuff, but I just want to have him because remember, this episode, this Millionaire Morning Show, and this little extra 32-minute clip that he has actually is what Tommy Sotomayor referenced in his video, and I'm gonna take you guys back there because it's only like a couple minutes. But then we're gonna move speedily through this thing. But yeah, we're gonna go a little bit longer on this episode because I do want to tie all this up, and I do want to get to Tommy Sotomayor's response. If I have to, I will do a 5th episode, but I'm gonna try to keep it in the actual 4th episode. Okay, so let's go.
But niggas that ain't got no money think you smart, bro. People that are asking for reparations think you smart. People that got $100,000 plus in student loans think you smart. We don't look at you as nothing at all. I don't give a fuck about your pseudo nicknames. I don't care about none of that shit. I got smoke objectively for everybody because I don't give a fuck about what nobody think. And more importantly, here's the key. You got to show me, nigga. You got to show me. Talk to your boss. Talk to Joe. Talk to Al Jazeera. Talk to whoever it is that you got to go talk to. Go talk to your people, your family. Get permission to go kick it with them niggas and then come back, bro. And stop acting like you don't know, nigga. You know you've been paying attention to me for a long time. Everybody on that motherfucking pod know. Ish, stay out of this shit. This ain't for you, bro. I'm gonna just let you know right now. I don't know if y'all familiar with my work, bro, but you better get acquainted. You better get acquainted. I will nuke everybody. I shouldn't even be talking to these niggas. I need to be talking to their boss. They're in negotiations to try to get contracts up, trying to count money. What are we talking about? I need to see your boss. I don't need to talk to you. These niggas the help. You a contributor. You operate off of a schedule that he sets for you. I do what I want to do when I want to do it. I'm rich as fuck. And I know y'all want to remove money out of the equation because y'all don't think that that's going to qualify. This is what Ish is saying. Well, how can you measure what they contribute to other people? Get the fuck out of here, man. We measure it in net worth. We don't do that other dumb shit. So we can talk about whatever you want to talk about, but I'm just going to tell you, that's not a good thing. It's not going to be a good thing. It's not going to be a good thing. You got everything to lose. I got everything to gain. Everything to lose and everything to gain. So,
see, one of the good things about all this is even when he, Anton talking about his worth, his value, and all that stuff, because he's doing good and everything like that. He's doing phenomenal in life and everything. But for me, I'm so happy that he is because there's hope to not be enslaved by old media that made people worse off by giving time to them. Yes, I'm in this fight against social influencers, not giving a broad spectrum to how society is to function going forward. It's gonna be very rare that you have $100,000 garbage men at the average. You know what I mean? That would mean that people would get a pay jump on normal stuff. That would mean that you could be a Popeye's chicken employee making $50,000, $56,000 a year. In order to give hundreds of thousands of dollars to a garbage man, you will have to make it economically highly probable for a Popeye's chicken person to make $56,000 a year. So when social influencers don't really kind of be realistic about the six-figure illogical point of view or ideology, you do a disservice to what needs to happen in society as we interact with each other. And that's my biggest problem with social influencers and the level up culture. It's not logical to what needs to happen and how people need to treat each other. So they keep biting on that apple of delusional everybody need to make six figures. We're talking about the next 5 to 10, 20 years. You'll never have a society where people respect each other. And it's just, you just have people kind of, value shopping. You know what I mean? And people will never trust each other. And You will always be kind of playing chess with the person you're sitting across from at all times, every single day, no matter what it is, no matter what you're doing, no matter what the human interaction is, you're playing chess. So you'll never feel comfortable enough to be humane. So that's what our culture is right now. That's what our society is growing into. And I fought the level up culture and a lot of podcasters and social influencers for that. But I want him to 15, 16 hours a day, 5 to 8 content creators fighting every single day to do 15 to 16 hours of content a day. I'm from how the media has done their job for the last 10 to 12 years is we can't compromise with destroying them. That's what I feel.
It's on you, my nigga. Do what you do. But you better think about it first, because the last time that you replied out of emotion, this is why I tell people to lower your voice, strengthen your argument. You replied out of emotion. And that's why I had to pull up the receipts to even start having this conversation, because it's like, well, let's not get off on the wrong foot. Let's establish a norm. You know, I don't like it when niggas lie, because then you lose credibility. And so there's no scholarly source that you can cite for credibility. I'm telling you, look, man, I genuinely, being from the inner city of Detroit, bro, nigga, I got everything to gain. I have no strings attached to me. So y'all, what y'all should have did, and then I'm gonna move on to the next thing. What these niggas should have did, honestly, was first issue an apology to Brian. Y'all should issue an apology to Brian for slandering his name. And y'all niggas should know better. Half of you niggas up there is divorcees, baby daddies, all of that shit. And I'm a huge supporter, and I ride for niggas. I'm one of the biggest advocates for changing family court laws so that we can actually fix our families. Y'all niggas is divorcees. Y'all step baby daddies. Y'all niggas is cucks and shit like that. The fuck we talking about, bro? Y'all niggas should understand more than anybody, but you so busy trying to change your image and pander to your female audience. Man, these women don't give a fuck about you, bro. Y'all niggas up there is the main culprits. And then you got that funky, what's that redhead chick up there? What's her name? Mona? Hold on, let me see her. She co-signing this shit? Her? Her? Man, y'all better stop, bro. Y'all better stop. Like, I know y'all used to dealing with all of these other people, but I will burn this bitch down. I will burn this bitch down to the ground. Like, enjoy the interview, my nigga, and keep it moving. This raggedy chick right here, this crash out, man, don't even get me started on this, bro. Hey, y'all niggas stay out of it. Let Mark talk to his boss. Let Mark talk to his boss, and then we may entertain this shit. But other than that, leave this shit alone, bro. Y'all niggas is out of control. Man, these niggas be thinking that just because they got a mic, well, I got a mic too, niggas, right here. I don't even use it. I don't use this shit. Fuck is we talking about?
Okay, that's that.
Let me stop, bro. Let me stop.
Okay, let him stop. Okay, so let's move to the next clip. Let's move. So right after that rant, this is what Tommy Sotomayor seen, and he kind of started cutting it up, and he kind of put this out. I played it in the previous episode, but I just want to recap as we go forward.
Ish, stay out of this shit. This ain't for you, bro. I'm gonna just let you know right now. I don't know if y'all familiar with my work, bro, but you better get acquainted. You better get acquainted. I will nuke everybody. I shouldn't even be talking to these niggas. I need to be talking to their boss. They're in negotiations to try to get contracts up, trying to count money. Just remember that. Like, bro, if your people fuck with you so hard, then how come you ain't got no motion on your own? That's all I'm saying. I could teach you something. Let me coach you, nigga. Because, you know, I kind of look at him as autistic. The nigga blink a lot when he talk. I honestly, and this is the honest to God truth, I'm not dissing. You know how these super pseudo-intellectual people, they have quirks about them and they do stuff? They got tics and stuff like that. I thought that the nigga was autistic at first. But see, the problem with niggas that be autistic, and there's nothing wrong with somebody on the spectrum. Because see, y'all look at these niggas as savants. Y'all look at them as super intellectual. These niggas fear you. They fear me. I'm the boogeyman. I'm the boogeyman. You know what makes me the boogeyman? Because I don't need no sponsors. I don't need nobody to tell me what to do. I own 100% of everything and I don't have no strings on me. So I say what the fuck I want to say when I want to say it. And we can have a conversation and all of that stuff maybe one day, but you got to ask your boss if you can talk to me first, bro. I don't know if that's in your contract. Seriously, like, talk to Joe, my nigga. Talk to Joe before you talk. Talk to Al Jazeera. Make sure that you don't say anything incendiary because you know what happened on CNN. When you start talking too much about Israel, they fired your ass, nigga. Now we can get into the whole intellectual conversation, and I think that you're gonna get embarrassed in that. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Honestly, I think that would be a bad look for you. And I'm advising you before you talk to your managers. And the reason that I think that that's going to be a bad look for you is because I don't have nothing to lose. I'm a lifetime C student. Everybody know I'm a lifetime C student. I'm community college. You finished your doctorate. All these niggas like Mark Lamont Hill sound smart to niggas that got student loans. Honest to God. These niggas is smart to niggas that got African American studies degrees. These niggas is smart to people that's broke.
How about we add a round 3? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Tommy Sotomayor. And that guy, well, that guy's Anton Daniels. When I first saw him, I didn't know if it was just Rick Ross and he had maybe got on a little bit of Ozempic. I'm not sure. But he talked like he Rick Ross, the boss. He act like he Rick Ross, the boss. But you know who he really act like? Yours truly. Man, it's hard to sit here and watch Negroes trying to act like me. Go ahead and drop that motherfucking beat. He done sit there and drop the beat on his video like I do. Try to have talking points like I do. I done sit up and watch this man steal more shit from me than a hair-hatted hooligan running up out of a hair store trying to get bags and bags and bags of that brand new yak. Now he want to talk about how this man might sound. I'm not a fan of Mark Lamont Hill. Not many people are, apparently. But that being said, it's a shame to watch somebody say he sounds smart to people with student loans. He sounds smart to people who, I guess, got African American studies. Nothing wrong with you trying to diss student loans, but then the people who went to college, like myself, some of the ways you could get through college was with a student loan. Pay them off. That's what you got to do. That's what I did. But I would test my degree against yours. I don't know why you or anybody else would try to downplay the fact that a person was able to go do this and pay it off. You know, it's like paying off a house, paying off a car, paying off any loan. You felt like that degree would make you better. And if you look over my career and you look over my resume, it did. It helped me. Knowing these people helped me. Interacting with these people in this social setting helped me. Now, college today, not really, even though I'm paying for colleges. Ugh. And no, they don't have to get student loans because they dead out here whoring. I mean, working hard. But that being said, sir, you said that people are scared to go up against you. I've been reaching out to this man for 2 years now. He know who I am. He done stole and ate from me for years and years and years. He know exactly who I am. Do he pick up? No. I even went to one of his live shows and asked for the link. You know what they did in the comment section? Block me. You know who blocked me? Him. You ain't never seen this man reach out to me from the time he was this high to the time wherever he is now, or wherever he claimed to be. Millionaire and all this stuff. I own everything. Where you get that from? Where you get that telling these niggas, go to your boss? All these lines you done use, you done took them from me, and there's many more I can say. I'm trying to make this short, though. You said you'll nuke anybody. We both be on Fox. You act like you don't know who I am. Pretend you don't know how to say my name. Because you like clout chasing other people. You're clout farming. Well, how about you go one-on-one with me? Let's see if you do that. I bet I shoot down them fake-ass stolen talking points. You've been ethered.
Okay. So, this is how it all... I'm taking you guys to the timeline, okay? And this is why he had to respond on this one. I only want to play... what else going to play from this? Well, I already kind of played this episode, but I wanted to kind of... I think I did play. Hold on a second. I don't know. Maybe I've been having a caches too long on this episode. Okay, let's see if we can. I don't even know if it'll give me the episode. Let's see if we. Yeah, so that was the episode that he was talking to him about. I had it in my head a second ago. I totally forgot what I wanted to just play real quick on that. But that's where actual Anton went on to Fatty's show. He had his conversation on Fatty's show, and then Fatty's show I already played where Tommy Sotomayor, he responded to Fatty's show. And now what I want to do is I want to go straight to the episode where if I could come back to this one, because I don't remember what I wanted to play on this one. But let's go to the aftermath of Anton Daniels responding to Tommy Sotomayor's obviously let me scan through this to see how long it's gonna take. I'm only gonna play a little bit of it, but I'm gonna do a fifth part and we'll come straight into this. That way, you guys don't have to stay up with me too late. Hold 1 second.
Oh, before I even started off, I want to show y'all something. For people to pretend they don't know who I am and they don't know why Anton Daniels is doing what he's doing, let me show y'all something. I went to his page. It's called The Millionaire's Morning Show with Anton Daniels. Because as you know, only millionaires are over there with Anton Daniels, apparently. Yes, because it's the Millionaire's Morning Show. Yes, it's only for millionaires. Y'all do me a huge favor. He has 421,000 subscribers, right? His last video, he did it an hour ago. It got 2.3K views. The video before that, he did it 4 hours ago. It got 4.2K views. The video before that, he did it 10 hours ago. Whose video is that? Who's that video he's talking about in that video? Well, that's me. That's this video we're about to review. And
look, see, it's already started up. But I think this is about an hour and 10 minutes of the actual him going back and forth. He actually does it a lot of and then he goes into major commentary aftermath of the video, like after the video fully plays out. He has that for about another 10 minutes. So he's kind of doing about, if I'm not mistaken, it's about an hour and probably 40 minutes on this, hour and 30 minutes on this. So that's why I said, in order for us to go through it and me to do commentary to it with whatever I hear right now, he's kind of, he's going through, all these are clips from the Millionaire Morning Show. So it's not the actual Millionaire Morning Show that actually airs that might have hundreds of thousands of views. You know what I mean? These are just individual clips that he kind of cut and segment from the actual Millionaire Morning Show. So, but at the same time, his, Tommy Sotomayor's, his point is that the video that he's kind of talking about Tommy, and that Tommy's drawing attention to the platform, is giving him double the amount of viewership than all his other clips in that clip. So even if it's just about going about the clips, just the clips are showing you that he's making double the amount of viewerships from that clip. But I think Anton kind of averages about in the 70s and 80,000. So those people gonna watch that clip anyway. You know what I mean? From his people are guaranteedly coming to watch his clip, no matter if it's Tommy Sotomayor or anybody. That's data on that. You could go through this. It's out of context because he would have to go through the history of Anton's clips and then go to what his Millionaire Morning Show actual episode is doing, and then the derivative clips, what are they doing in comparison to a day, 2 days, a week from now, and that'll kind of let you know what the viewership is, and are you bringing any extra viewership to that platform because he's doing it in your name. So in a way, it's illegitimate to claim that you're driving Anton Daniels' audience. And I can go to that in the next episode too. I gotta write it in my notes so I can remember to kind of go to do that. So I'm having a buffering issue or even probably cache issue with the site. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a fourth episode. We're gonna come straight in on this episode, okay? On Tommy Sotomayor's responding to Anton Daniels' response to Anton Daniels' response to his commentary with him and Fatty. Actually, Anton Daniels' response to Tommy Sotomayor analyzing his conversation with Fatty. And this is the response to Anton Daniels' response to Tommy Sotomayor's response to his conversation with Fatty and him. So I'm going to start here, and then we can kind of pick up where we left off with, kind of making sure the numbers speaks out in the totality of days and stuff like that. So, because I think the point that Tommy trying to make here is that he's driving audience to Anton's platform, and I don't think so. I think each clip does in the high, like 70,000 clips of views each clip, no matter what. It ain't got to even be about, it could be about a bridge or like a ballpark that he's doing here or whatever. He drives his audience, supports his clips and him. So look, we'll get back into that on the next episode. Look, guys, hit the subscribe, follow, please follow, subscribe, and hit the like button. Please give me some support here and everything like that. And we're gonna come back. I think I just lost the viewer. They probably channeled off. I don't know why. Maybe I'm talking too long. Maybe it's when it went over 2 hours, it was just ridiculous. Okay. So look, you guys, I'll see you on the next episode where we pick this back up. I don't know if we're gonna do it tonight or we're gonna do it tomorrow. It's New Year's Eve tomorrow, so I might have a busy day, but I'm gonna try my best to knock this on out. Look, guys, my name is Daris D. McKinney. This is Individual Perspective Podcast. Come on back, hit that like, hit the subscribe, please support and follow, hit those links in the bottom. I'll see you guys on the next one. And it already starting hot, so it's gonna be a pretty good one to commentate around, because Tommy's starting shooting the gun already. Check you guys out. See you soon.